Hello and welcome everybody, I am one proud Bavarian and this is the Winter King. Now I have two news for you. I have two news. I don't think that is proper English. I'm sorry, that's a good episode start. I have two important tidbits of information that I want to transfer here because this is a bit of a podcast series. The first one is a very short one. First one is essentially just that I was informed that the mod that I am waiting for, which this series is kind of like bridging us over into, is going to release, very likely at least, on Tuesdays. So at the very latest, if it does come out on Tuesday, I will be playing HIP on this channel. Instead of this series, I will be playing that on Wednesday at the very latest. If I get lucky, I might already do it on Tuesday, but I have my doubts because I am busy Tuesday. So when it comes out on Tuesday, it's unlikely that I can actually record for a release at 7 p.m. So stay hyped. HIP is coming, and HIP is coming fast. Now, if it is actually going to come out on Tuesday, I'm not sure. That is at least what the head developer is aiming for, but sometimes, you know, things get in the way. You know the drill. I mean, I don't have to tell you. But that aside, there's another thing that I want to talk about. I want to talk, you know, because we were playing a mod here, or we are playing a mod here that is so roleplay heavy, that has so much spirit, so much love. And as I said, and I want to just specify and clarify that this series will end once HIP comes out. Go check out the mod yourself, because it is most certainly worth looking at, even beyond this short series. What we're going to do once, I think, the end of February comes around, I think that's a good time frame. We're going to live stream it. And once that is the case, so I have two projects, and I have not forgotten about the first one, that I want to live stream. That is the Empire of the Outremer. I do want to continue that playthrough in a live stream. And then there's this mod, which we will live stream, and where you essentially will have a say. Every single announcement, you know, every single appointment of a councillor, of a count, or of a baron, everything will be discussed in chat at the time. It will be a nice roleplay series. I think that is something I definitely want to do. But that is not the only thing that I do want to announce. I also, it's not as much as an announcement as much as it is just kind of, I guess, like a podcast talk. I want to talk about the topic of new games. I want to talk about the topic of new games that have been released, especially mostly about At the Gates. Now, John Schaefer's At the Gates was on this channel and crashed and burned. I stopped producing it 3 episodes in because I was so frustrated with the state of the game. And with the entire, you know, like, I'm not blind. I don't really play any FPS games, but I get when drama happens, right? Like, I see it. And if, by the way, skip ahead if you don't care for this talk. I'm not an authority on anything. I'm a YouTuber. But what I do want to mention is, because it is important, I think, from a cultural point of view, when it comes to, like, you know, how do we treat ourselves as customers? How do we treat other people? I just want to mention that if a game is in a state that is unsalvageable, that you believe to be so terrible that you don't want to play, that you don't want to pay for it, and so on and so forth, please don't attack people on a personal level. So, not saying anybody did it, but I want to make one thing clear. I am extraordinarily frustrated about the state of At the Gates, because it is called a 1.0. It's called a full release, and yet it's most certainly not. So there's a distinction here that most people are not certain about, because early access as a marketing term has kind of made it all a bit wishy-washy, is what we say. Wishy-washy is what we say in German, where it's like, you're not sure, it's extraordinarily vague. But there is a very clear separation between alpha and beta. And in alpha, you implement features, and in alpha, you go in, and the game is not yet feature complete. In a beta, you fix what is in. That is the game, the way it is, okay? So once a beta hits, you're not supposed to fix anything. It's only developers that know that other people don't actually have a proper knowledge about those terms that exploit that use your lack of knowledge to essentially make you complacent and think, oh, it's in beta, it's still not feature complete. No, listen. In beta, it's feature complete. That is how that term is used. And as much as people want to change it, when it comes to project planning, that is exactly how the term is used internally as well. So with At the Gates, obviously, we have a game that is called a full release, and most certainly isn't, because it's not feature complete. It just is not feature complete. If it were buggy, that is something else, okay? Buggy releases are things that happen, but the game is not feature complete. So what I really want to say is, hey, I think, even if you like the vision of At the Gates as much as I do, watch out, do not attack the developers personally, because for them, no matter if it's a good or a bad game, it's a passion, and attacking a passion is a very personal thing. It's a very tough thing to handle, okay? So be careful, weigh your words wisely, because it's a topic of passion and a topic of, you know, it's their livelihood. It's a very, I think, personal and emotional topic. But with that being said, do not be fooled by marketing terms like early access, like full release, beta, alpha. Know the terms, know what they mean, and don't let anybody screw you over by being smart about marketing, okay? With that being said, I hope that in a year we can go back to John Schaefer's At the Gates and it'll be feature complete and it'll actually be a good game, but man, I'm still mad about it. So much for this. Let's talk about King Alfred. I think Alfred is his name. What a name. Alfred of Middle Anglia. Now, I have gotten a very positive reception here for this series, and it's a very short one, as I said. Man, it might end on Tuesday, which is just 3 episodes, but it's a good series, I hope, because it's just like such a niche, wonderful roleplay mod, which I will immediately go over and just speed up the game. Your Ethelred? Your Ethelred Gelmond, I don't know how you pronounce that, Kelmont, reports that a heretical sorcerer has been caught and jailed in the city of Bro. This sorcerer has apparently healed various ailments afflicting the other prisoners. Although he is scheduled for execution at noon, you could pardon him and bring him into your employ. Oh. He's our court physician now, a sorcerer. Damn, that is really cool. An actual sorcerer. Right. The quality of this mod, by the way, of course, you know, we would all love to see the expansions here of the map, wouldn't we? But the quality of the mod lies just in its flexibility. For example, once it's 560, Saxon lords here, I read up on that, but Saxon lords get the conquest CB against each other. So this is really good because it drives the AI to attack into the Britain land, into the Brythonic land very, very early on, and after that they start infighting. It's one of those mechanics I'm just like, you know what, this is super cool. I love seeing it. So I hope that this kingdom of... Oh, what? They formed a kingdom. Kingdom of Wessex. Saxon rulers of southern Britain have proclaimed the birth of the Kingdom of Wessex. The newly formed kingdom will incorporate land that were formerly part of the Romano-British kingdoms of Dumnonia and Gwynqueek. There you go, Gwynqueek and Dumnonia. From this day on, these provinces will belong de jure to the Kingdom of Wessex, and previous claims of birthright right will no longer be recognized. So this invasion took place, and now they culturally renamed it. If they were to be reconquered, it would be reclaimed by the Brythonic lords. And now the dynasty, the Morris dynasty that is currently ruling, and I'm just taking a look, right? We have the King of Gwent. They're all intermarried, but not really relevant. Had we moderate? Right, we're looking for House Pendragon. He died against... They fought... See, I didn't even know that. How did he die? Pneumonia. So apparently he got... Probably in a rebellion, right? He got killed by King Arthur. There's so much history and also so much fantasy. Oh, you have been at peace for too long. Oh, no! We're so weak. I can't really attack anybody. Now, this is not good. Maybe we can attack you. We shouldn't have... Yeah, we don't have a peace, so let's attack for Brythonic. Oh, we can't actually attack. Oh, we can do a conquest, totally. Right, yeah. Which one is better? Equally as bad. I'm gonna attack you for Brythonic. Nope, with this. There you go. Alright, everybody gather. Let's go south and conquer... Stop sieging what will be my land. They're already taking it, and they're going to take it quicker. So we're going to be out of luck here, I think. As you sometimes are in CK2, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The Gothic War, a great war has broken out in Italy. Flashed from his success in the conquest of the Vandal Kingdom of Africa, Imperator Flavius Longus, that's a good name, of the Eastern Roman Empire has directed his great general Belisarius to conquer the provinces of Italy from the empire. Already Sicily and Dalmatia have fallen to the Roman armies, who are now marching through southern Italy towards Rome itself. Ostrogothic armies have been withdrawn from Provence as they mount a desperate defense against the Romans, leaving the Praetorian prefecture of Gaul to its fate. As Roman citizens defect to the empire and Ostrogothic nobles feud over the kingship abdicated by the former king Athalaric, it seems that the kingdom of the Ostrogoths is nearing its end. Right, look at him, Imperator Flavius Longus of the Eastern Roman Empire. Now if, and this is something that isn't in yet, but if Italy at some point will be in the game, wouldn't it be amazing to have like the Chinese, to have the Eastern Roman Empire, similar to the Western Protectorate, come in and take over the Apennine Peninsula? Can we actually take a look at Belisarius here? Is that a thing? I don't think Belisarius actually exists, but that would be so cool. So Belisarius, obviously, if you haven't heard of him, he was the general that essentially led the Eastern Roman Empire's advances in Italy itself, and was the most successful general to ever serve. He was the one who almost brought the Eastern Roman Empire back into the West. So this is a really interesting timeline where, personally, I believe everything could have turned out the other way. Had the Eastern Romans been smarter, for example, Belisarius didn't always get all the opportunities. And also, look at this map, by the way, it's beautiful. Almost as nice as the Imperator map. But has he not been, you know, he had like I can't remember the other general's name, but he had a little clash with a different general over here of also the Eastern Roman Empire. So if his authority had been unquestioned, I wonder, could he have properly retaken it in the name of the Eastern Roman Empire and in the name of the Roman Empire? I mean, don't forget that at the end of the day, it's all the Roman Empire, or was supposed to be. I also saw a comment that said, yesterday, I formed the Gaul Empire in this mod. Not that anybody cares. I care. I want you to know, the Gallic Kingdom, I think. I want you to know that I care. I love these little playthroughs, you know, where a single decision gives you an entirely different outcome. And also the Meroving split again. Paris was large last time we took a look, but now Orléans is independent under King Chlodwig II and King Guthari of Paris. I don't know what that name. Like some of these names, Chlodwig, for example, right? I see this and I know this is Chlodwig. I've seen this name. But some of these names I can't actually take a look at. Theodoric, right? That's Theodoric. And he's currently at war indeed against the Burgundians. Let's have a look how this goes. He is winning. And he now has a nickname Magnificent. I'm also stupid. This youngster has always shied away from book learning and never applied himself to the world of thought. His natural promise has dulled as an adolescent. I am stupid. I have zero learning. Oh my god. I'm a terrible king. I'm a terrible, terrible king. And we can't even conquer this. So, unless they peace out without actually take... Oh. Thank you. Wait, what? Oh yeah, thank you. You just gave it to me. You didn't want to give it to the other one, I guess. They were like, you know what? You take it. Wrong type of holding. Obviously, we don't want to hold this. That is just a town. I also don't want to hold the territory in the very far south. So this is, for example, if we were on stream right here, this is why I'm like, I want to stream this mod so bad. I currently don't have the time, but I want to stream it so bad. Because then we could actually look around. You could tell me, oh, I remember this character, you know, he was interesting. And then I would hand it out to those characters. Right now, I do the old, oh, let's just give it out to the most favorable character that we have. That's a lame way of playing this mod. This mod deserves an entirely different angle to gameplay. And I think that angle is the angle of hardcore roleplay. As I said, you know, HIP is going to be glorious. It's going to be the best. Honestly, I'm committing. I think HIP will be the best playthrough that I have ever done on this channel, just by virtue of HIP being amazing. But this one in a live stream, holy shit, the viewer interaction, all of you, man, I'm so hyped for that. So I think we are looking at great times for CK2 Let's Plays, and after that we're going to obviously be looking at Imperator Let's Plays. Once that comes out, hopefully in March, but who knows. I just have to say, man, I think this is going to be a wonderful experience, but already I think the meat of this mod, and I wrote a comment about that I kind of want to showcase this. Damn, the Britons are coming, aren't they? And I don't think I will be able to defend myself. But I want to show off the meat here, so sometimes we're going to be rushed here instead of role-playing. Let me just have a look. So they're going to come in, obviously. We could raise some zealots here. It's only 348. I'm going to raise them, and then we're going to take a look at mercenary bands. These mercenary bands are very small, which is adequate for the time. I think, so these are interesting as well, because obviously some of them are like, he's Cumbric, you know, he's a Brythonic. And then we have the Saxon Riders here. Captain Alfred of the Saxon Riders. I think we're going to recruit him. I like him. And that should give us the strength to fight off the pushback here. The Earldom of Dorsetshire. I think that's like Dorsetshire? What do you call it? Dorsetshire? Dorset? shit. There is a place down here that I know is called something like this. But I need to, like, when we do the Let's Play, I will constantly on my second screen have up the Wikipedia, or not the Let's Play, when we do the stream, I will constantly have the Wikipedia up for locations. Oh, that's interesting. I know that in London, or close to London rather, there's a town that is called Twickenham. And I pronounce it like this because that is apparently how it is pronounced. Twickenham. It's not Twickenham, it's Twickenham. And, I mean, would you look at this? This suspiciously looks like Twickenham, doesn't it? Twickenham. Interesting. I see, this is the thing. I have been to England, and I enjoyed my time there quite a lot. But at the same time, I know so little about them, despite them, you know, being a core part of what I would consider to be my cultural influence. Because when you grow up in Germany, and, you know, you learn English as the first foreign language that you learn. The second one for me was French. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Je suis désolé. C'est très bien. But when you grow up with that, you learn a lot about the cultures. And for example, and somebody mentioned this as well, and there's just so much. This is almost like a podcast. I apologize if you expected very quick playthroughs. You know, this is definitely not one of them. But somebody mentioned, hey, if you think about it, everybody's Germanic, because the Germans invaded Gaul, they invaded France, you know, they invaded the Anglo-Saxons. They also, the Lombards, invaded Italy. Everybody was invaded by the Germanics, at least in Western Europe. But the truth is, and this is the interesting part, because it brings us so far apart, despite being so close culturally, the truth is that none of those invasions were genocides or anything like that. So there was a theory, as I mentioned last episode, that the Saxons, when they invaded the Britons, there was indeed a genocide. They do mention that like the population just died, but it's not true. The newest science suggests that there was just an inmixing. And the same happened down here. We have stats for Italy that the Langobards, so the Lombards, they never had a significant impact on the genetic makeup of Italians, which says a lot, because the Italians, obviously, with their very prevalent and very central position in the Mediterranean, had a lot of foreign influences. You know, you had a lot of Adriatic influences of the Adriatic tribes. You had a lot of influence from the Greeks here in Magna Graecia, from the Carthaginians, you know, from the Phoenicians. There's obviously a lot of influence that has touched the Italian gene pool, but the Lombards weren't one of them. So saying that they are Germanics it's just, you know, not true. I get it. It's a nice meme. I like the meme myself, right? But it's the same for the Gauls, for example. They mixed, and then their cultures intertwined as well. And that led to an entirely new culture, which is amazing, by the way. It's an amazing thing to witness these sort of developments, I think. It's very, very interesting. Anyway, let's get back to the goddamn game, yeah? Are you still at war? How are you doing? 15. Oh, he's actually losing. Interesting. How are you doing? Oh, wow. What? He hired 3.6k. Who did he hire? Wait a second. Who did you hire? Nobody. What? There must be like a zealots something. I don't know. I've always been one to finish my chores properly, and those of others. I am very diligent. And 20% that we will become stressed. Not stressed, boys. I'm stupid as hell, but I work hard. What they say here in German, there's a saying here. What you don't have in your head, you gotta have in your legs, because you have to do more leg work if you're stupid. And I mean, I'll be honest with you. Being stupid. Oh my god! Oh, it's tribal vassals. Oh. You know, if you start as a major dude like the West Saxons here, I think the campaign would be way too easy, because look at this, we are having a shit time. Like, we are having a very hard time, and there was a commenter that said, I hope you lose, kick out the Saxons. And you know what? He's right. They're gonna kick out the Saxons. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to hide in Newark and hope that they will attack us. Oh, there they come. They are so quick on this map. Jesus, I gotta speed down here. Yeah, you can see, Jesus Christ, they wrecked us. And I love this. Did you see this? In most mods and in most games of Paradox games, the decisiveness of battles doesn't exist. A battle rages on for, you know, like several weeks. In Victoria 2, it rages on for literally years, if you know how you cycle in and out armies. But in this mod, and what we know from Imperator as well, which is why I'm so excited for Imperator, it has characters, you know, it has expansion, it has blobbing, it has trade, and it has decisive battles from what we know. What we have seen so far implies that Imperator Ursa's rather short and drastic battles. You lose a lot of people, and getting the morale back from the streams that we've seen with Johan appears to be taking very, very long. So they're sieging us down, and I'm going to capitulate. What do you want me to do here, yeah? I don't think I have a choice. Damn. But they just took that. Powers. Man, stretching out into the east here. What a good choice for them. Not so much for us, but you know, can't have everything in the world. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. The Great Cold. Ooh, what is this? Though there have been harsh winters before, this one seems to surpass all those that preceded it in its harshness and extreme coldness. Infants freeze to death in their cradles and warriors in their armor. The seas are haunted by never-ceasing storms, crushing most ships which dare leave port. Famine ensues as grain disappears from markets everywhere, and it seems like the years to follow will not enjoy warm or even temperate summers. Priests everywhere, ceaselessly pray in the temples and make great sacrifices to the gods, but for now, the begging has gone unanswered. It could be that gods mean for this unending winter to be the end of the world. Maybe. Even if this cold marks the twilights of the gods themselves. Even if this blasted winter does end, we can expect more short summers and harsh winters ahead. We are for some harsh times. I'm not actually sure. You know what? I'm going to look this up. This is like an education episode. There's no teacher, by the way. There's just me Googling things. I don't consider me a teacher, yeah? Also, the Burgundians are defending themselves quite valiantly. They won their war and will keep existing. Now, let me just take a look here, right? Small Ice Age. Maybe there was a small Ice Age at the time. I'm not actually sure. Let me have a look. Medieval warm period. So, I mean, I can't see... I have a statistic in front of me right now, right? And I can't see a significant... what is the year? 430 Ice Age Britain. It's a stupid Google query, right? But sometimes with these, you find something that's actually worthwhile. No, I don't want to look at Britain during the last Ice Age. The next Ice Age will be Brexit. Am I right, everybody? Caught him again with wit and smartness. I can't find anything, so maybe this is just like a random thing that happens some winters. Famine strikes Newark. Oh no! First of all, let's get rid of the zealots here. The frigid temperatures and early frosts have wiped out the harvests in Newark, and the surrounding provinces in the last couple of years, and now a famine has set in. Many commoners have starved to the death in their homes, while others flee to neighboring lands. Severely depopulating Newark. Many buildings now lie deserted without the manpower to maintain them, and have fallen to ruin. It will take a long time for Newark to recover. So, I just like, it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but I know I'm not actually. If you look at Newark now, you get this minor depopulation thing here. The minor depopulation thing is something that you see in the vanilla game as well, with sickness and so on and so forth. And as I said, there are sicknesses here, obviously consumption. There is also the Justinian plague coming up. But with this one, it's more significant. If you have Saxon raids, this will... And if you have a Saxon king take over, this will influence the entire region. As you can see that here. Do you see this? You can literally see where the West Saxons are attacking. And I love this aspect. War actually brings death. War in the base game brings death, but it doesn't bring death on a scale that is significant enough for you to care for your population. But the Saxons land here, they bring death. They bring, absolute desperate measures from the population living over here. They're all fleeing, they're running, and this of course overcrowds and stresses out the regions close to it. Now, the right thing for Dumnonia would be to defend themselves against West Sax, but I don't know if they can do that. Anyway, Jesus, we've barely... Oh, I literally wrote a comment that said, be prepared that I'm gonna, hurry up in the years because we want to see a little bit of the meat, but man, the meat of this mod is everywhere, right in front of us. I don't need to speed up. As I said, end of February, stay tuned. We're gonna stream this. I hope that you're gonna be joining me, and you're gonna make all the important decisions together with me. Be it, defending Wales, for example, defending as Dumnonia, or be it invading as a Saxon king, or be it invading as a Frank. There's so many opportunities. Also, we are a poor fighter. Amazing. There are so many opportunities. Right, we could invest technology here. I don't think it's really going to be worth it. I also read up, and I'm not an expert on this, because I haven't really looked up what this is, but I did see that apparently Saxons, I think, have better spearmen and militians, while the Brythonics have better, I think, horses and archers? I think so. Maybe warriors. It's... I've read it, I think, on the Discord of this... No, not on the Discord of this mod. I think it's in, like, the comment section or something. No, actually, it's, I think, in the description on Steam. And I read it there, and I was like, you know what? This is an interesting twist, because in Crusader Kings 2 itself, the units do not really have that many cultural differences, at least not significant enough for you to care about it. If you have the bigger army against an enemy army, it doesn't really matter if the enemy, you know, is like slightly better at using whatever they're using, they're gonna lose. But in this game, it does matter. If you use the wrong army composition, you will lose against your enemy, whatever your enemy shall be. Now, we're in a dire spot, and we do have to give up yet another title, which will weaken us further, because we are simply retarded. Oh, I was about to say, why would you not? Yeah, there you go. Ingham is now gone. Right, you're unhappy. You want to be on the council. Oh, a lot of people want to be on the council here. I don't even know, do we have any council rights? I didn't look this up earlier. We do, which means that if I'm not mistaken, as long as they're on the council, they can't actually form factions. Yeah, there you go. The faction is gone. So this is nice council democracy. I mean, this is how they ruled historically. They had people on the council, and because they were able to intervene in the politics of the day-to-day business. Ooh, Gallic Revolt. Really? Romano-Gallic. Because they were able to intervene there, they, without a doubt, were not really rebellious anymore. What is this? Anician blood, one of the wealthiest and most distinguished families of the late Empire, with a long line of consuls and emperors stretching back to the days of the Republic. Anicius Saturninus of the house Anicius. Interesting. I've genuinely, like, this is gonna sound very embarrassing, but I've never heard of the family Anicius. Now, the naming scheme, by the way, there's so much. When Imperator comes out, I actually am quite knowledgeable on the era, so the naming scheme doesn't quite fit here, because historical naming schemes were always, like, with the Romans, you had three names. You have the prenomen, the nomen, and the cognomen. I think at least this was just called the nomen and not, like, anything on top. But essentially, it's like a different distinction, right? You have the person, like a family name, normal name, and then like an honor name. Be it an honor name that your ancestor had, or be it a proper name that you earned. You know, if you win in battles, then you're gonna get a cognomen that will be special. Be it Maximus, for example. Just, ooh, the Frankish invasion of Burgundy. Wait a second, but they failed, right? After the fall of the Roman Empire, the Burgundians maintained an alliance, if shaky, with the Franks to the north, with the two Germanic kingdoms supporting each other as they expanded, right? Wait, are they declaring again? What? Oh, he's trying again? You know what? I'm gonna end this episode only when they end their war. That's how long we're gonna take a look at this. How are you doing? How many troops you got? 2.52k. And we are a brilliant commander. Amazing. How many troops do we have? 660. Fuck. That's not enough. How much? What's our skill? We have a 16. That should give us a bit more troops. I would assume, but apparently not. Gather great councillors. Not gonna happen. I think I wanna reign for 20 years, sure. That's an easy one. I can't really do much else, can I? I'm a bit of a loser. Ooh, this is a very unrealistic marriage. I don't think they would actually give me the Princess of Paris, but I'm gonna marry her. Absolutely. Give me some prestige. Right, you. Does that mean that I would get a pact now? Form alliance. Ah. We're not far away. We're not far away from having an alliance with Paris. Now that would be amazing. Also, we've been at peace for too long. Don't let that be what is love. Don't let that... Nope, I'm not gonna... You know what? I know this quest line. I'm not gonna engage in. I don't care. It's a quest line, if you weren't aware, that essentially lets you, like... We've had it in the Bavarian playthrough. It's a great quest line. Don't get me wrong. But I don't wanna bother with this. You're essentially hunting down a different woman, and that woman is married. So what happens is you go around, and if you are good enough, then you may take her. So like you may become her new lover. Oh wow. Oh, okay, goodbye. You know what? I'm gonna die, so I will not fight you. Alright, that was a very bad fight. But I mean, it was just AFK raiding pretty much. Let's take a look at the Burgundians. What happens here? I honestly don't feel as though the Franks will win this. I think the Franks will lose once more, but we'll see. Oh, she's pregnant, so we can die in battle next time. And as you can see, dying in battle is quite common here, as it was historically. I mean, that's the way it is. Oh, they have an Isaurian revolt, so a religious revolt. I'm plain. Why am I such... Is the game trying to tell me something? Come on, man. Don't do me dirty like this, yeah? There wasn't a sun, so that's a bit terrible. I don't know if this is going anywhere. It doesn't appear to be. Really? This is interesting news. Ooh, what? They're doing it without me. King Adrian of East Sax has publicly announced his support for King Cynric of West Sax to be crowned Bretwalder of England, giving his claim a major boost. This is interesting news. King Octa of Kantvaras has publicly announced his support for King. He's gonna form England. Wow. We're gonna see England, but it's not us that forms it. Come on, form it. I want to see it. How does this work? Alright, you know what? Next episode, maybe we're gonna see England. That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. I would love it. Holy shit, that would be so cool. And as you can see, so when we started this episode, this was the de jure England territory, and now it's this included because they conquered it. What a great, honestly, no joke, what a great fucking mod this is. Anyway, I will see you in the next episode. Probably, maybe, the last one for this mod, the Winter King. Go check it out. And if you don't check it out on your own, go check it out when I stream it at the end of February as well. It's going to be great. And in the last episode, we're probably going to see the England mechanic. So he already got the support of 2 kings. If he does get South Sax, then that should be it. Anyway, later, alligator.